So, even though I know since I just went live, no one is actually hearing this as of yet. Welcome once again to the Magisterial live stream for Modernists. There is a new season out, as you can probably tell from this background and from the music, which I think is kind of hysterical music to have in the background of a game like this. Ah, the first people are arriving. So, once I see we've got a fair number of folks, I'll start talking about all the new season goodies that came out today. And until then, you can watch Gambit and Rogue have their picnic and listen to this delightful background music. Or at least until I see that we've got a fair number of people, I will talk about the boring stuff. Look, they made a slight change to the UI here, where you can highlight this and see the currencies. I am well. My wife Trisha is well. She may be joining us to moderate the chat here in moments, so that she can tell you more about the current plant situation. The dogs are all well and enjoying themselves and or being grouchy, as the case may be for their individual temperaments. Okay, so we have a double-digit number of people, so I'll start talking about season stuff. So, as you can probably surmise from this background, the new season has started. The characters for this season are going to be Gambit and Rogue. Gambit was already released today. Rogue is coming beginning of December. So, that's a thing. They kind of head-faked everybody, because everybody had assumed that Gambit was going to be a duelist, was going to be DPS, and he is, in fact, a strategist. He is a healer. Believe it or not. Oh, yeah, X-Men. For a minute I was thinking, Uncanny X-Men 24, what does that have to... Adjectiveless X-Men 24, yes indeed, that cover. The Man of 1000 Heresies is again propounding about things which he knows not. Having not downloaded the update, he could not possibly have played Gambit yet, as I have. But that is his want. So, here you can see one of the new skins. I already have the Rogue, or as she is called by most people typing on the internet, Rouge. The dogs are safely ensconced with my wife, so you will probably not be able to hear from them through this mic. They made him this, like, OP Omega level guy, then they kind of took it back. They did a whole Mr. Sinister Fandango with that. And this is one of the new skins from the new Battle Pass. It's a little late for Halloween, but they did a Frankencastle skin for the Punisher. And they made the mechanical bits like gun parts. So, Frankencastle, now a thing. So there are two Battle Pass skins I don't have yet that I'm still working on. This is the Magus skin for Adam Warlock. Magus is basically the evil version of Adam Warlock. He, at one point, to save the universe, had to use dark magic and sold a portion of his soul and became the Magus, who is evil. Priestpay is not quite that bad. I am, however, streaming on Twitch. On a monetized stream. So, I missed that Mr. Sinister question, so I'll need that repeated. And then the other one I don't have yet is they finally did a classic uniform Scarlet Witch skin. With, like, her classic comic book outfit. So those are the two I don't have yet. Well, so there have been several different versions of Mr. Sinister. Original Mr. Sinister was very much... he kind of looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger cosplaying as Robert Smith. Originally. And with the Marauders, he was basically just like, oh, he's the evil guy who created and leads the Marauders. And then at a certain point, I think it was during Ed Brubaker's run, in the early aughts, the early 2000s, they made him like sassy Mr. Sinister, so he's like kind of a catty gay man now. Except I don't think he's actually gay, he just sort of acts like that. And his continuity has kind of gone insane now. Like, because he cloned himself all these times, and one of them has become like a god, and it's weird. So this event is going on, where they have daily stuff, and at the end of the 8 days, you will get the Iron Spider skin. Which I'm sure the man of 1,000 heresies is excited about. So let's see. So this is one of the other new skins. They did a... this is Black Widow's original costume from her first appearance in Tales of Suspense, when she was an Iron Man villain. She was a Russian spy in the early 60s. So they did a skin. You wouldn't necessarily know that was Black Widow if you didn't know, but it is. New Groot skin, which is just Groot in a Guardians uniform. Gambit. You don't see Mr. Sinister card there. Little Easter egg. Let's see, new stuff. New Hela skin, just sort of an Asgard skin. Oh, goofy new Angela skin. She's like a cat or something. I don't know. I'm not a weeb. I don't know how to interpret this completely, but I'm not using it, we'll put it that way. Let's see. There's a new Davy Jones Namor skin. Yes, they did put a furry Wolverine skin in the game where he has a tail. This is the Davy Jones Namor skin. And Frankencastle again there. Wolverine's no longer alone on this last page. He's got Winter Soldier there too. So that's good. He's not lonely anymore. So yeah, so now here, this brings us to copyright infringement. Like, look at this Gambit skin, okay? Like, how is Ubisoft not going to sue? Like, look at this. Okay? And then, look at this quote. Look at this quote down here on the left. Like, they're just, like, begging for an Ubisoft lawsuit right here. Like, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah, Ubisoft has fallen on hard times. Maybe this is a hostile takeover bid. This is that weird furry Wolverine skin with the tail. He kind of looks like Akuma, except he has a tail. And they did a mutated Spider-Man here. Well, I was thinking more NetEase, but I suppose NetEase is a Chinese company, so good luck suing them in China. I suppose. That's most of the things. So I don't know if I've showed these before on the stream, but they have these accessories that are like sort of stuffed toys that you can give to different characters. And they have a new round of them here that have come out. So like Gambit can have a little rogue. And this is, given that Rogue, everyone is pretty sure that as soon as Rogue comes out, they're going to have a Savage Land Rogue skin ready to go. If you know, you know. They got a little Cyclops one here for Jean. Okay. So all that's shown. Feel free, folks, to start asking questions. There's been a lull. The lull might be commercials. Just in case, I'll do my blurb now and get it over with before people start asking questions. And I get involved in other things. If you are seeing commercials, you can get rid of those commercials. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every month, free Twitch sub. Not asking you for money, but you can give me some Bezos money by giving me that free Amazon sub. And then you won't have to see commercials, so it's a win-win. And yes, I played the heck out of the PS1 Spider-Man game back in the day when it came out for PS1, and I had one. So both of those questions I was tracking with, and then they got cut off because I could only see so much text.
Pick your hero.
So we need some pith.
I'm not judging.
Gentlemen, pith.
Make way for the King of Thieves.
Hey, we're gonna get to see some Gambit gameplay. I managed to beat the Instalock. Yeah, PS1 Spider-Man was the last big AAA game for PS1 back in the day, before the PS2 came out. See, so that question that got reposted, Priest of the Old Testament, it ended for me after the word do. So I didn't see the actual question, just the preamble. So just post the part after the word do.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
And the other question about Zacchaeus, similarly.
I'm sorry, you what?
Repost me the second half.
But you want to eat a symbiote? No, I don't think that's a good idea.
I wear
The short answer is yes, those roles do come back together in Christ's priesthood. Those roles actually belong to the bishop.
The battle starts in 5, 4.
Well, like everything else. And then the bishop can delegate those to presbyters as he sees fit.
Got it?
But,
Forgive me
Christians,
for what I am about to do.
A shield. Merci.
technically speaking, for example, Christians, it is a sin. It is an excommunicatable sin to sue another Christian in court. Disputes between Christians are supposed to be settled by the bishop.
Now you do the same for me, will you?
So that's literally that judging job of the elder being given to
No time for a quick
bishops
walk. We still got
in the
work.
recombined. In terms of Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus did not repent before he met Christ. He was still notorious. That's why everyone sort of freaked out when Jesus went into his house.
Merci. Maybe cars should say your back. Gambit got your back.
But he repents.
Leave the card tricks to Bullseye, Remy. I'm fine. Our enemies are near.
For sure.
I can feel them.
He repents while Christ is there, and the repentance is him giving half of what he had to the poor, and then repaying everyone whom he had stolen from fivefold. And it's after he does that that Christ says, "Today salvation has come to this house, for he too is a son of Abraham." It's when he repents. I think there was a follow-up question about lawsuits, but I missed it while I was answering that one.
Gambit got your back.
Double KO.
You was out of your league. You willed it, Spider. Blame him.
Ah, bon. The
Fury
next
is
to
almost yours. Ooh, a touch of healing. Here comes trouble.
You know, that I don't know. I don't know how that is followed. So, I mean, you'd have to check Greece, see how that's handled in Greece. Because Russia, of course, went through the communist period. So, you know, the courts took over everything.
Devil's Ray!
So, yeah, I'm not sure how that's handled in Greece, to be honest.
We'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. Fighter for the win.
Don't you worry, mes amis. Gambit got more than one ace up his sleeve.
So, but there have been recent cases in the United States of clergy engaging in lawsuits within the church and getting deposed.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Despondency is a blameworthy passion.
Oh, look at you. You're
Despondency, in fact,
Team up with somebody just
depending on
weaponized spider robot as well? Oh,
how you translate acidity, despondency is
does that count?
one of the 8 evil thoughts in St. John Cassian, from which the
The battle
7
starts in
deadly
5,
sins were later derived.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to
So
do is
despondency
capture
is not
the
just being
Got it?
sad or being emo,
Let's hope none of us end
Or,
up like that there Celestial.
you know, being goth about your parents. Despondency is the opposite of hope, which is a virtue.
Here comes trouble.
So being without hope is like being without faith or being without love, right?
the mission area!
Sentenced to public humiliation.
Ain't nobody stealing Gambit's chance to win.
Yeah, despondency is a step toward nihilism.
Leave them to Khonshu!
All systems go!
Now you do the same for me, Lee.
Look out! Behind you!
Armed and never good! That's much better.
So, I know there's a tendency to see everything, in certain authors, to see everything wrong with the, with Rome and her doctrine, to be a result of the Filioque. I think in general that's a little reductionist, but at the same time, they are systematic thinkers. So I think the Roman Catholic view of the Holy Spirit does affect their view of spiritual gifts, charisms, ultimately ordination, at all.
I was hurting for certain. Whoever they are, they don't look friendly.
That's what I call justice.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Fire mode!
Gambit never falls!
Maybe cars just ain't your game.
I will note, if you haven't noticed yet, or if you were just suspecting it, and I need to confirm it for you, Gambit and also Rogue's voice, when she comes out in this game, are the same voice actors who did them in the cartoon series,
The area's almost
in the animated series.
Extra layer of armor.
I totally still
Fantastic! Ha
powering up.
ha! Oh!
Let's do Gambit with your...
Ha ha! Ha ha!
Keep fighting until we have a winner. Feeling stronger already. I have seen better days.
Gambit got your back.
So there you go, there's some Gambit gameplay. I mean, I basically take the position that ChatGPT and Grok and stuff are just glorified search engines isn't probably the right word. Probably more like more advanced search engines. Right. More flexible search engines. So yeah, I don't have a spicy take on them on that one, unfortunately. So if you want to play a D&D style game that is set in the Bronze Age, I recommend to you the game RuneQuest. It's a classic game. There have been a bunch of editions, but the current edition of RuneQuest is very good in its systems, and it is everything. The magic system is based on Bronze Age. The religious systems in it are based on Bronze Age religion, and they actually got people to consult who are experts on it. So that'll save you a ton of work right? It's like a ready-made setting. And if you really were addicted to using the 5e system, you could probably use the 5e system in that setting just by sort of adapting stuff from the setting books. But it's also a good game system in and of itself. So if you want Bronze Age role-playing, RuneQuest is the way to go. And they paid me nothing for that message. Comprehensive? Oh, what's the name of it? There's a 5-book set that they used to use in they used to use one volume of it in the Demon program at the Antiochian House of Studies. I know that helps no one currently listening to this stream. But I'm trying to remember who edited it. It's a 5-volume set. They're those paperbacks on the really shiny white paper that cost like way too much because they're academic paperback books, and it's somehow like 350 pages, but it only looks thick enough to be 250 because it's like super dense somehow, like pulpy paper or something. You know the kind of books I'm talking about. It'll come to me when I'm not trying to think about it. I picture them in my head. Covers have a white border.
30 seconds before you attack.
And then black, like some red trim elements.
Just like the first time.
White typeface.
I hope it goes better than that.
And it's 5 volumes because it covers like all areas of Christian liturgics. Like historically. So it's not just Orthodox liturgics or Latin liturgics, it's everything.
4, 3, 2, 1. Help get that vehicle to its destination.
That might be it. That might be it, if the cover looks the way I described it.
Incoming. Some assistance, please.
Ooh-wee. Gambit got your back.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Look out! There's something behind. Let's make our way to the opposite mark. Now you do the same for me, Wee.
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Hostile forces incoming. Some assistance, please. Pure cosmic energy.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
So I missed the last part of that, but I think it was essentially, just correct me if I'm wrong, how did Rokor end up with the Western Rite? So the first thing you need to learn about Rokor, if you're not in Rokor, is that actual Rokor is not like the way Rokor gets talked about on the internet. Everybody acts on the internet like Rokor is a bunch of these, is like the Orthodox equivalent of like rad trads or something. And that is not the case. If you meet actual Rokor people, up to and including Rokor monastics, they are actually
Born again.
they're actually very balanced and very
Second chances over.
But also it's because there's sort of a lost history of Rokor in Western Europe before the Russian Revolution and the work they were doing there. A lot of people don't know, for example, that St. John Maximovich, before he was sent to China, helped organize the Orthodox churches in the Netherlands. So there was a lot of Rokor activity, not just among Russians, but even some evangelistic type activity going on in Western Europe before the Russian Revolution. Then after the Russian Revolution, there were a lot of emigres, right, from Russia, basically refugees, Orthodox refugees, who ended up in Western European countries. And so Rokor continued that work. And the Rokor Western Rite really grew out of that experience of doing that work in a Western context, ministering to people who had become used to Western liturgics in various ways, right? And now the Western Rite in Rokor is using a different. They use what's called the Sarum Rite, which is not identical to the ones that the Antiochian Western Rite uses. The Antiochian Western Rite uses either Liturgy of St. Gregory, the Liturgy of St. Tikhon. Liturgy of St. Gregory is basically a pre-schism Latin service translated into English. The Liturgy of St. Tikhon that the Antiochian Western Rite uses comes out of a group called the Non-Jurists in the Church of England in the 18th century, who wanted to be more traditionally Western. They were they weren't the same group as the Anglo-Catholics, but they were kind of that kind of spirit as a group. Anglicans who didn't see themselves as Protestant, as it were, right? And so they were trying to make remonstrance with the Patriarch of Moscow, because their sort of dream, their vision of a perfect world, was that the Anglican Church would become more high church and traditional and become sort of an English Orthodox, right, jurisdiction, right? Now, obviously, that never happened. But in the process of those discussions and those kind of things, there was a version of the liturgy from the Book of Common Prayer that was provisionally approved for use. By the Patriarch of Moscow, and later again approved by St. Tikhon of Moscow.
Never fall! The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Let's make our way to La Arbre du Mont.
Enemy in front of us.
So, just to answer the Greek question quickly, in terms of Zacchaeus. So Greek has what's called the imperfect tense. So if you want to talk about past action that's continuing in the present time, use the imperfect tense, not the present tense. The present tense just says that something is happening at present. You are doing it in that moment. Doing it or pledging to do it. Right. So, yeah, so that would be in the perfect if it was something that Zacchaeus had already started to do beforehand. In terms of, like, James Tabor, so James Tabor is still doing the old, unhelpful kind of New Testament studies, which is basically the somewhat sorry place that Old Testament studies still is, where you basically set aside all of the actual textual evidence of the Bible and basically everything else that we have in terms of actual textual and historical evidence, and instead come up with a conjecture as to what was really happening that's getting covered up by the text and all the sources, right? It should be obvious why that's problematic, right? But, is that when you follow that method, you just get a whole series of reconstructions by different people that are completely different because there's sort of no fences and no framework because all the actual evidence you've sort of disallowed.
Well, you can't expect to win
by virtue of, you're right, which is what people do with the Old Testament now. And you construct these elaborate reconstructions. Like James Tabor has this elaborate reconstruction, but you get to the end of it and you're like, cool story, bro, but like, how am I supposed to tell if he's correct or if Litz is correct or if some other guy with some totally different other reconstruction is correct? Like, how am I supposed to judge between these? On what basis? And there really isn't one, right? So it becomes just sort of what sounds good and appeals to you, or what sort of reconstruction is helpful for you for whatever argument you want to make. Like if you think the church should be more Jewish, then you argue that. If you think it should be less Jewish, you argue that. If you think, if you think women should be ordained, you reconstruct it so that they used to ordain women, but now, they're covering it up, right? You could do that all day. And it's just not helpful to anybody. It's sort of the reason the third quest for the historical Jesus fell apart, which is the one that was going on with the Jesus Seminar in the late 80s and early 90s. Then someone finally pointed out, the guys kind of admitted, they kind of came to the conclusion that it was true, that, everybody went and reconstructed this historical Jesus and it kind of looked like them. Right? Like, whatever they liked, their reconstructed Jesus also liked, and whatever they didn't like, their reconstructed Jesus also hated, So, yeah. And they're all working together on this big project, and yet, when you read their books, they have completely different, incompatible pictures of who the historical Jesus was. So, yeah. Unless you're just interested in world building, And then, frankly, there's some good fantasy and sci-fi you should be reading, not James Tabor. I think I might have, at the end of that game, things were kind of heated. I think I might have missed a question or two, so if I did, go ahead and repost them. Well, so there have been a bunch of games I've thought about streaming, but the problem is
You'll need a top-notch team to
it
win
is
this
sadly difficult to find a game that I, as a priest, can stream in good conscience.
I'm here to finish the fight that my father began.
Because you either get language, you get sexuality stuff, you get... I've played some of the very early Pro Skater games. I mean, I guess I could play, like, WWE 2K26 when it comes out. See, the other thing with games that I stream is I want to be able to answer questions. So
I was born to pilot it.
it can't be something that requires, like, my full concentration.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Even the ocean at sunrise does not glimmer as bright as you, Emma.
Flattery will get you everywhere, my dear.
Of all the land dwellers, you are only surpassed in beauty by Susan Richards.
You should have stopped while you were.
The battle starts in 5.
Oh, man, there was something there I was going to comment on, and then it went right past
2,
me.
1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Portal.
I have not had a Saturday where we didn't have any Prospera, but when I was a subdeacon, that happened once at the church I was attending, and now as a priest, I know this is probably not what the priest was supposed to do, but
Yeah, I earned that one.
see, I don't remember what it was, or I remember. But what the priest did at the time, and I'm not naming names, was he got a loaf of bread of roughly the correct size and shape at a grocery store, and then said the prayers and kind of hammered the stamp into it. I'm not advising anyone do this. I do not think this is correct procedure. But I was a subdeacon, so it was not my job to... So we have a freezer at the church where I have extra Prospera. So if that were to happen, right, I have backup. I can thaw out some bread from that freezer. Ah, the ads.
By the eye of Agamotto.
Use your Amazon Prime subscription. Get rid of those ads.
We need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Don't count us out yet.
I mean, I don't do the How I Became Orthodox story, but essentially,
That vehicle.
I had the experience that I had found the Church of Christ. That was it. And that's why I tell people what I tell people. I'm sure I've said on stream before. I tell people, you know, inquirers and catechumens show up at Orthodox churches for all kinds of reasons, right? Some good, some not so good, some indifferent. But the only reason to join the Orthodox Church is because you find Christ there. And part of where I'm getting that is that was my experience, you know. And that made it worth, you know, giving up my job, giving up
Never miss.
the place I lived, etc., 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 to join the Orthodox Church. It was my 2000 Saturn Sports Coupe, which was a red sports coupe, so I mean that's kind of cool. It was when they introduced the, it was the first year where they had the third door. They had what used to be that the third door opened in the opposite direction on the one side that gave you better access to the tiny back seat, since it was a sports coupe.
Ready for another ghost fighter?
But yes, that is the car I was driving. And I totaled that car when I was at St. Ticon's.
Ooh, found me someone to fight.
Tandy needs help.
You know what to do, spiders? Powering up. It's spider time! We're better when we live together.
So I was helping the recently departed, memory eternal, Father George Kevorkian plant the parish where he was the priest. It was just getting started as a church plant in Florida, New York. Real name of a real town.
Never miss.
And I had to drive there from St. Ticon's in northeast Pennsylvania, which was like an hour and a half by road.
Against the world.
And so it was winter morning, first snow. And here's a moral lesson for you. I knew the roads were icy. I knew I probably shouldn't go, but I said, oh, I'm going to church. God will take care of me. And thereby, I put the Lord to the test, which is always a mistake. And so I was cruising on the interstate at about 65, hit an ice patch. My car spun around, and I ended up sailing backwards down the interstate at an angle, which angle eventually took me off the side of the interstate. My car sheared off a mile marker, and then hit a small tree that it snapped over. And I ended up with the back wheels of the car up on top of the snapped over tree. And the front wheels kind of in the ditch. And so I called Father George and said, I don't think I'll be making it for liturgy today. I called AAA. And they pulled me up out of the ditch and I limped to the car home. Very clearly had a bent frame, was not driving straight. But I made it, you know, I was intact, I was not injured, but the car ended up being totaled. Yeah, so that leads to the sign debacle. So, a little while later, I, encouraged by some of my seminary buddies, decided that, you know what, I should really keep that mile marker as a souvenir. And so, Trisha and I drove out to the mile marker in her Ford Escape. We found it, still laying there by the side of the road. I opened Open the back of the Ford Escape, put down the tailgate, right, and everything. Clearly picking it up, getting ready to take it. And this cop pulls up. State trooper pulls up behind me. And before I can say, cheese it, it's the law. I don't know, maybe. Don't judge me. This is before I was a Christian. So he pulls up, and here's something you need to know about my lovely and vivacious wife. She is not a good liar. She has no poker face. Right? Like, so I'm in a bad situation. I have the worst possible accomplice in my attempted crime. So, I've got to try to sell to this cop that, no, I was not trying to take this. I would never think of doing such a thing, officer. So, of course, I immediately set it down. And he said, are you trying to take that mile marker? I said, no, sir. I found it out there in the bush. And I was bringing it over here to set it at the side of the road so it could be picked up and disposed of.
Ready for another ghost fight?
And he said, really? Because you got your car open, kind of looks like you were going to take it. And I said, oh, no, not at all. Yes. And so technically, I had not actually put it in the car yet when he stopped me. So I set it down, and we got in the car, and he watched us drive away.
Another epic victory.
Watched us drive away. And I said, darn it. Congrats to the man of 1,000 heresies. There have been many portions of my life that seemed like scenes from Super Troopers, to be honest. None of them involved me chugging an entire bottle of syrup. But, I successfully stole some small rocks from Stonehenge. But that's only tangentially related to me getting thrown out. I mean, it's related, but wasn't the primary reason. But I mean, who among us hasn't taken rocks from Stonehenge? That's the one. That's the one I was going to comment on that I wanted reposted. Yes. So, I am so close to that milestone. I can virtually taste it.
Make way for the king of
This Wednesday, we're doing Deuteronomy 4. In real time, in the Bible study here at the parish. So, once that is recorded, there will be recordings of me doing the entire Bible, front to back. Many of them potato quality, but they will still exist, so that is a significant milestone.
This is almost as fun as pulling a heist. Almost.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You, champion of Kunlun. We must have words about my sibling at once.
Thor? Loki? Baldur?
No, sir.
So I don't have direct experience
Protected.
being the dad in that situation, but I do have the experience of being the headstrong, stubborn boy. And so in part, a kid like that, if he's like that in the way I was like that, has to learn things for himself. He's not going to, as much as it would make his life easier if he's like me, he's not going to take anyone's word for it. Right? He's going to have to sort of have the experiences and learn the things himself for it to really click. And so I think in some ways, often at least, the best approach is going to be not trying to convince him to listen to you. Like, think that if you can just find the right way to say it, he'll, you know, save himself a lot of time and trouble and actually learn from you. But rather try to set up a situation where he can learn it himself without the consequences of failure or other difficulties being too severe, right? Because that's the danger, is that he's going to get into some situation where he can only learn by experience, but the consequences of that learning are ones that stick around for a while, right? That were problematic to deal with. So if you could try to, rather than just trying to convince him, try to work on the situation so that when he, you know, takes the header he has to take in order to learn his lesson, he isn't too badly injured. To really overstrain a metaphor, I know, but you get what I mean. I think that'll probably be a better approach.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Yes. Yes, like when I was tased and pepper sprayed during training to become a corrections officer. Yeah. Yeah, so the whole clergy shortage thing, I think Metropolitan Saba's idea is actually the right one. I should say actually, because it's not surprising that Metropolitan Saba, being a much wiser person than me and a bishop, you know, has a good idea. It's not like it's a surprise. But Metropolitan Saba's approach is he's really pushing for deacons, to have multiple deacons in every parish. And that helps the clergy shortage in two ways. So number one, one of the problems with the clergy shortage is we end up with very large parishes because we're receiving lots of people, right? But we don't have another priest to start another mission. We don't have another priest to serve in the same parish, right? And help take some of the load off of the current priest in this quickly growing parish. But if that priest has a couple of deacons serving with him in that parish, then that can make a larger parish manageable because they can do, there are a number of areas of ministry in which the deacons can assist, right? and elements of ministry that they can just straight out take over, right? So that helps on that front. But then the other piece is that he can then, once you have deacons, and you have some quality deacons, he can take sort of the cream of the crop out of that diaconate, the ones who really distinguish themselves and seem like they're good candidates for the priesthood, and make them priests. And so you've got, without making them move somewhere and go to seminary, they've got practical ministry experience. They know the service of the church from serving them as deacons. They've been mentored by a priest in a parish, right? And they can be made priests and sent out. So invigorating the diaconate helps in both of those ways with the priest shortage. And it starts helping immediately. It's not a solution where we've got 4, 8, 10 years of lag time before we get this crop of priests. It starts helping right now, right? So I think that is a very wise approach that Sena Saba is taking. And since he put out at the convention this summer that he wanted to do that, he told us in a meeting today, all the clergy of the Antiochian Archdiocese, that the Archdiocese currently has more than 100 applications for the diaconate that they're processing from around the U.S. and Canada. So Gambit, I think, long term is going to be a good addition. So in the short term, right? Gambit is getting insta-locked every game, and a lot of people don't want to heal with him and/or don't know how to play him. I'm still learning how to play him.
Pick your hero.
I mean, before this stream, I had played him like 3 or 4 times. So I am still definitely in the learning phase. But I'm doing decently with him. I mean, I'm doing, decent healing numbers. I'm a lot better with him already than I ever got with Daredevil. And way, way better than Spider-Man. But so Gambit, the nice thing about him is that he has a very fast play style. He's similar in certain ways in terms of how he heals and damages to Luna Snow.
Something bothering you?
He's got a little bit more versatility. Like, he's got the deck buffs, and the deck buffs are... no, Gambit's not going to be my new main. I like playing him, and I play a healer. I like playing him, but he's not going to be my main.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2...
So there's some resource management with the decks, which adds a level of depth also. But he moves a lot faster than Luna Snow and stuff. He moves and feels more like you're playing a DPS, even though you're playing a healer. I think that's going to be attractive to a lot of people. And in the long term, we'll probably get some people to start healing who haven't really been into playing healers in the past. My main is still Mr. Fantastic. That's still the character who by far I have the most playtime on. I have the most Lord points on him by a good margin. The only threat to that is I've said if when Cyclops comes out, and they're teasing Cyclops, like they teased him in the Season 5 trailer. When Cyclops comes out, if they make him a Vanguard, like a tank, depending on how he plays, that he could potentially become my main, but other than that, I don't see... I think Mr. Fantastic will probably stay my main. With, and then under Mr. Fantastic, The Thing and Thor and Captain America are the main ones I play. My main in WoW was a warrior, but I was a tank. I was the off tank for our guild. For our raiding guild, and Trisha was my healer. That's part of how we met. Because we met on WoW, if you don't know that story.
I am bravely
Maximum pulse!
Yes, I was an undead warrior, and she was a cow druid.
Don't count us out yet.
Control lost.
So my favorite Cajun dish, my treasurer here, owns a Cajun restaurant called Chicken on the Bayou, which if you ever hear you have to eat at. He recently, one of the big national news magazines,
We're back in action.
named him third best fried chicken in the country. I did not use that pickup line. Her character, Aether, was cow-eyed, being a druid. Or being a Tauren. But,
Powering up.
but so what I get when I go there is not the fried chicken.
I'm counting on you, friends. It's spider time!
What I get when I go there is something he calls the Isle de Capri. And here's what it is. Gator is good. But like all reptile meat, it has kind of a sweet taste that some people takes a bit of getting used to for him. But what I get there, it's called the Isle de Capri. He lays down a bed of Cajun rice, right? Then he puts a fried catfish fillet on top of that. And then he smothers the whole thing in crawfish etouffee. And then it's got a scoop of potato salad and a biscuit off the griddle. So that's my favorite Cajun dish. That's what I get when I go to his most excellent restaurant.
You know what to do, spiders? Time for some fireworks.
You was out of your league.
Well, he's never done it during the Nativity Fast. But the aforementioned owner of that restaurant, pretty much every Lent, brings me a crawfish boil in a cooler down to the church.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner. Better watch your back.
Way to go, spider!
So yeah, I'm curious now to see. People are assuming Rogue is going to be a Vanguard, be a
Most
tank.
spiders just climb walls.
But I don't know now, because all those same people all thought Gambit was going to be a duelist, be DPS.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Some sort of futuristic sentinel?
No. Spider is a
She will have to answer that question. She does watch a lot of true crime.
I'll take your word, mon petit.
She likes to keep me on my toes and keep me worried, so I'll come home from church.
Yep, we
sometimes, and she'll be watching Snapped, which is about women who freak out and kill their husbands.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I survived Hell's Kitchen. This is nothing.
They look like they mean business.
I haven't noticed a real difference in the prevalence of alcohol at either of those. That type of alcohol is different, right? So there are traditional, especially dessert alcohols in a lot of Orthodox countries. So the Greeks will have some ouzo at Pascha. You get arak in Middle Eastern predominant churches. Whereas convert-heavy parishes, the converts will bring all kinds of stuff. I think part of it is that, you know, the converts have to prove they're not Baptists anymore, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, when the undercover cop has to do a line of coke to prove he's not a cop, like, they have to do shots on Pascha to prove they're not Baptists anymore.
Help, please. It's much better.
Time for some fireworks. We made quite a team.
Oh, I have a parishioner who's a member of, shall we say, a motorcycle club. And he brings a jar of moonshine every Pascha. And when I say moonshine, I mean, like, you could take paint off the wall with this stuff. Like,
This is gonna hurt.
the first time he brought it, one of the female parishioners who was in college at the time took a couple shots of it and ended up curled up into the floor in a ball crying by the end of the Pascha feast. So, I guess you could be that guy for your parish, you know. It's,
Mine's in place.
The area's almost yours. Shields up. Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Armed and dangerous!
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but it's currently spider time.
Control lost.
So much for your on the hunt.
No, that doesn't count.
That most people don't notice. I mean, the cheap and easy answer is like the priest prayers.
Anyone willing to help?
But,
Check this
Just
place
needed
out.
a few repairs.
Easy. I'm not ready to rush to judgment.
slightly less cheap answer. I think an unfortunate number of people don't go to Vespers, which means that an unfortunate number of people don't ever hear the Old Testament readings related to the feasts. And the church really does, you know, coordinate all of the readings on a feast. They're all related to each other and all related to the feast. And if you take them together, you get a really full-orbed picture of what's going on in the feast. And so, especially if you're talking about a feast that falls like midweek, unfortunately a lot of parishes aren't able to do the whole cycle of services, or people aren't able to go to them. And so people end up missing out, not just on the Old Testament readings and Vespers, but the Matins Gospel, right? So we don't have a lot of ancient interpretations of the Aurora Borealis because we don't have a lot of ancient writings from the places where they're visible.
I've got yours.
Because northern climes are more damp, right? And therefore don't lend themselves to the preservation of texts so well.
Time for some fireworks.
Again! Leave them to conscience.
Yes. Yeah, you're using the incense to purify the air, the covering, the veil, before you put it over the
My dad built
gifts.
fighter for himself, but I feel like I was born to pilot it.
Before you attack, get ready.
You aren't alone inside of that armor, are you?
Nope. My co-pilot is a spider that I'm bonded to telepathically. How'd you know?
I can hear two hearts beating in there. One much, much faster than the other.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Excited when it's time
so-
to battle space. You know how it is.
4,
sadness is a feeling.
2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area.
When
Well, ain't this a fantastic mess we've got in our
St. Paul says that he doesn't want Christians to grieve as others do who have no hope, right? So he's talking about grieving. He's talking about sadness, right? We lose, and he's talking specifically about the death of a loved one there. So yes, we grieve. There's nothing sinful about grieving or being sad, right? But, as he says, Christians shouldn't do that the way someone does who has no hope. Someone who doesn't know who Christ is, doesn't understand Christ's death and resurrection, doesn't understand the resurrection that we hope for, right? And so the lack of hope is the problem, because it signals a lack of trust in Christ, right? Or a lack of trust that God will keep His promises to us, right? And so sometimes sadness or grieving turns into despondency, right? And that's why we say there's a time for grieving and there's a time when grieving needs to be put away, right? There's a time where sadness needs to end because it's no longer healthy. Yeah. And so despondency is sort of despair, and it's despair that produces a kind of spiritual sloth and malaise. Right?
Gambit never falls!
They've almost got it.
Armed and dangerous!
So this team just gave up and threw this last round. Holy cow.
Ready. Here come the bad guys.
Yeah, so again, sadness is fine. It's sadness for a time. You can also look at it from the approach the same way we talk about anger, right? St. Paul says, in your anger, do not sin. So just experiencing anger is not itself a sin. It's what you do with it. Whether you use it for something positive, right? Like your anger over injustice can motivate you to try to do something about it, and then it becomes a positive thing. Or your anger you could use it just destructively. You could go burn down the Walgreens, right? Or, be violent with someone, right? The same thing is true with sadness, right? You can take sadness, and sadness eventually, right, can be transformed into other things, like sadness over losing someone or something, right? Can be sadness over losing someone or something. Can be turned into thankfulness, right? Thankfulness for what you had, right? Thankfulness for the good things that God gave you and that you had for some period of time, right? Sadness over failure can be turned into motivation to, try harder to succeed. Sadness, like tears of repentance, as somebody pointed out in the chat, right? Sadness over what you've done, right, can be transformed into motivation to never do it again, right? To struggle to do better and to be better, right? But take tears of repentance, for example. That sadness over what you've done can also turn into a kind of despair and despondency, where you decide, I'm horrible, right? I can't do any better than this. I should stop trying, right? I'm worthless. Whatever, right? And that's where it becomes destructive, right? Or sadness over losing someone or something can again becomes like self-destructive. You can end up harming yourself, right? Or harming others, right? Out of that sorrow, if it doesn't transform into thanksgiving. So sadness is a blameless passion for that reason, that in and of itself, right, it is not bad or good, right? It's what you do with that feeling. And so despondency is a category of bad ways, ultimately self-destructive, and even in some cases other destructive ways of using, dealing with, processing, experiencing feelings of sadness. So hopefully that helps a little for those two things. This is going to be the last game, and so that means the first character whose name I see in chat will be the character that I at least attempt to play. Because if you say Gambit, he might get insta-locked. But yeah, why did I know it was going to end up being Spider-Man? Okay. Here's hoping someone insta-locks Spider-Man. But I doubt it. So also, final game, final questions. I won't have to concentrate very hard, because even if I do, I'll play Spider-Man very badly, so... Someone insta-locked Spider-Man. Darn it, I'm gonna have to play Squirrel Girl. Wow, 2 people tried to play Spider-Man.
Eat nuts and kick butts.
So, sorry guys. I guess I'm playing Squirrel Girl. And I don't need to focus on playing Squirrel Girl because she's Squirrel Girl, so feel free to ask any
And please don't ask me what the
final
difference is,
questions here.
No.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You know how you have all the powers of a spider and all the powers of a man?
Just like you have all the powers of a squirrel and all the powers of a girl.
Okay, so here's a question I don't want the answer to. If I can summon an army of rodents to obey my every command, can you...
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Thank you. I shouldn't have asked. I shouldn't have even thought it. I shouldn't have pictured it. I'm sorry for picturing it. This is my fault. Here we go. I'm gonna do a lap. Can I wash my brain? It pleases me to be... Ooh, a touch of healing. Shake it up. Who will help?
Well, so part of...
You don't fight alone.
We have to define what we mean by liturgy in the case of the Second Temple, right? Because, of course, they didn't have liturgical services where people showed up and attended in the temple the way that they did in even the synagogue during the Second Temple period. But in terms of, you're right, the sacrificial liturgy, right? What was done in terms of offering sacrifices in the Second Temple. There are major direct connections to the second half of the liturgy of the sacrament, Eucharistic liturgy. So one of those is the final step in sacrificial liturgy was that the gifts that were being offered would be touched and elevated. That actually happens twice in the Eucharistic liturgy. So it happens in the liturgy of St. John Chrysostom. The gifts are touched and elevated after the words of institution. Right? This is my body, this is my blood. When the bread and wine as such are offered to God as a thank offering in the liturgy. And then they are touched and elevated again right before the communion of the clergy. When we say holy things are for the holy.
Get some help, didn't you?
And right before that time, if you want to know why it's done a second time, the priest prays a prayer asking Christ to look down from his holy dwelling place and grant to the priest his body and blood, and through the priest to give his body and blood to all of the people, because we offer to God our the bread and wine is a thank offering, the fruit of our labors, the fruit of the earth that he's provided, to which we've applied our labors, properly speaking. And in return, Christ gives to us himself in the form of his body and blood. So that happens twice. There was also in sacrificial ritual in general and in Second Temple in particular, there was a procession with the gifts, leading them to the place of sacrifice, which the Great Entrance is ultimately an example of.
Real firepower!
Judge, jury, executioner!
Only 60 seconds.
So there's that element. The process of the Divine Liturgy as a whole traces out the life of Christ. It represents the life of Christ as a whole. So the proscomedia, right, that the priest does beforehand. There's an icon of Christ's nativity above the prothesis table. And calling it the prothesis is not a thing unique to Christianity either. That's the place where the animals were butchered, was called the prothesis, before the meat was offered in sacrificial rituals. But so, the Nativity of Christ, his birth, is connected there. Then the first part of the liturgy that we usually call the Liturgy of the Word, with the reading of the Epistle and the Gospel, and the homily is connected to Christ's teaching ministry, primarily in Galilee, but then on his way into Judea.
Let the devil
So, and then,
That's 3. I'm not gonna stop that vehicle yet.
the god of thunder.
and so then the great entrance represents Christ's journey to Jerusalem, where he's going to be sacrificed as a sacrificial procession. And then the opening of the curtain and the giving of communion represents Christ's resurrection, actually. And the anaphora is his death. Yeah, so the Patriarchate of Jerusalem uses Liturgy of St. James. There are some priests who have been given a blessing to celebrate the Liturgy of St. James in the Antiochian Archdiocese I'm speaking about, on his feast day. I know Father Andrew did it a couple times on his feast day back in the day. It's a very Father Andrew thing to do.
Stop them in their tracks. Only 60 seconds left. Here is an enemy.
But, I was gonna say, my favorite, Holy Week service is, the Holy Saturday Liturgy. So it's also my favorite, Paschal service.
I'm not done with this fight yet.
So yeah, I should be streaming a little more often now. 2 out of the last 4 weeks I was out of town at retreats. But I've just had a lot of stuff going on. But things are calming down now for a while. So all of you cool kids can hang out with me on Friday nights again. And we'll probably find some, other than Friday nights, I'll probably pop up and do some things.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Yeah, this has turned into a real game all of a sudden.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them. We're back, right, Tippy Toe?
Yes, her squirrel is named Tippy Toe.
Behold the god of thunder! Kinetic blade.
A lot of folks probably don't know about this, but since very early in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Better stop that vehicle.
Since very early in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's been a protracted online campaign to try and get Anna Kendrick to play Squirrel Girl
Here I come again.
in a movie or something. But I don't think Marvel is,
Only 60 seconds left.
or Disney, I guess, is ready for Squirrel Girl.
Friends, gather around.
So I don't think it's. I would not advise doing a confession list on a phone. Not just because I'm a Luddite, but privacy concerns. Anything you put on a device connected to the internet is not really private.
Behold, that child!
So I prefer people do it on paper, and then I tell them after the confession to burn the paper. Because then you know, number one, like, it's on paper in their pocket, nobody has seen it, who isn't supposed to. And if they burn it, no one's going to see it in the future. It's gone for good. And I don't think you can really get that with a phone at this point.
Don't give them another inch, or else. Well, you can't expect to win them all.
I'm going to blame that defeat on the Man of 1,000 Heresies. I feel like he kind of choked there at the end. Yes, in the early church, people did confess in front of the entire community. Yeah, because you were off hiding somewhere. I saw you while I was dead. You were running around, running on walls, down corridors, flipping around. You can only brag about not dying if we win. Right? Like, if we lose, then, see, you're the scapegoat. Oh wait, is there somebody on the chat talking trash on the Man of... Oh wow, wow, some trash talk on you there, Man of 1,000 Heresies. Are you seeing this? I don't know how to take this. I'm almost feeling protective. I feel like strangers aren't allowed to talk this kind of trash on you. I feel like only I am allowed to verbally abuse you and your Spider-Man play. Yes, you can love the man and hate the 1,000 Heresies. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying you can. It is possible. I believe, for those of you, I don't know if you can see the chat in the stream, but this fellow said, now go get you a shine box, Spidey. So apparently he needs to go and shine shoes, according to this fellow on the other team. Well, okay, that's a sad note to go out on, but I did say that was the last game. So I guess get your shoe shine box there, Man of 1,000 Heresies. And I mean, you can make some money on the side, I guess. But Thank you, everybody. And yeah, but he won. So yeah, thank you, everybody. We will stream again sometime soon.